Hi guys, welcome to Vintage Van Life. So today we are driving from Sussex back to Pembrokeshire, where hopefully we will be spending the next few months. The van is extremely loaded up and I'm just going to check the oil before we go, and got a full tank of fuel, all good. Probably due an oil change at some point, but I can do that once we're there. That's not so bad. I think I'll top it up just a little bit and we should be good to go. I'm going to get comments like, oh, if only there's this device called a funnel that you can use to pour oil. It's like, you can't do anything wrong on YouTube, don't you dare. Otherwise people are like, right, I'm going to let him know that he's making a mistake. But it's fine. What's a bit of spilt oil? All it does is ensure that your vehicle won't rust in wherever the oil spilt.
As long as it's not on someone's drive.
Jolie, are you looking forward to our journey?
I was saying it's like a permanent game of Twister, isn't it?
The van has got a lot of stuff in it, like a lot. So I've got a lot of stuff back there because I'm hopefully going to be staying in Pembrokeshire over the winter, and my aunt has got this beautiful static caravan which we stayed in last year as well. So we're kind of bringing a lot of things with us for the comfort of staying there over winter. So we got 252 miles to go and it's raining already, and there are severe storm warnings for tonight in parts of Wales, so hopefully we'll actually arrive before the storm. Just have to wait and see. How's the drive been going, Jolie?
It's been great, we've been playing music.
Yeah, with my Bluetooth speaker.
Got some bits of the beer, prawn crackers.
You gonna get a burger?
No, I'm gonna get some bread.
Don't think there's modern van lifers around that normally carry a vintage washing machine. But then again, I am completely mad.
What are you doing, Alex?
I'm just checking the fluids. Water level's all good. We're all okay.
Did you get a Burger King?
No. What makes you say that? Not good news.
No, thank God we're in a hard shoulder.
Man, I was just thinking in my head, it's so nice to be able to go to Wales in Jacques and not have to worry about breakdowns. And then the tyre blew like that, so I've just put the spare on, which seems to have held its pressure fine. So let's just hope we don't get any more blowouts. How are you, Jolie?
Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, lucky that we're in a lay-by, you know.
That was not what I wanted to happen, but these things do happen, so never mind. But that tyre really let me down. We have arrived safely, so despite the hiccup with the tyre, Jacques drove beautifully, like no engine problems at all. Really good speed, 45 to 50 miles an hour, which is more, you know, perfectly acceptable for a vehicle like this. My back's a bit sore. I need to sort these seats out at some point. How are you, Jolie?
I'm great.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah. Ready for bed.
Cool. Hi there guys, so I arrived not last night but the night before, if that makes sense. And then yesterday we were unloading my stuff from the van to put into the static caravan here when something went a little bit wrong. I drove my van up the driveway here just to the top of the grass without going in because I didn't want it to get stuck in the mud. Unloaded everything, and then when it came to reversing down the hill I ended up slipping sideways, and the van looked like it was nearly going to tip over. It was pretty worrying at the time. Luckily, a Amazon delivery driver in a white transit van came along, and he was a typical local Welshman, always happy to help. He towed me out, all was well, but now my van is listing heavily to one side, and I'm going to basically try and figure out what's happened to my suspension. So what it looks like has seemed to have happened is the left-hand side of the vehicle for some reason has kind of collapsed, and the right-hand side, the springs are all kind of splayed out like that because it's compensating for the fact that the vehicle's leaning. Now this van was actually retrofitted with air suspension in the past, and it's never worked while I've owned it. And what happens is the leaf spring, rather than doing its bouncing like this, in the middle of it there's a air boot which is non-inflated, so it's quite solid. It just kind of takes the impact. It's not ideal, and I'm just wondering if maybe one of the air boots has slipped or collapsed in on itself or something. So I'm going to jack it up so the suspension is no longer, so it's completely rested, and take it from there and see what I can do. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the air suspension in this hasn't worked ever since I've owned it. So what I'm thinking is, if I actually take the unit out, the leaf springs will start to act as they should do, as they originally would have done, and just see if that rectifies the problem. Well, here it is, the unit. It squeezes in and out. You can hear air escaping. It's got a nasty puncture on the side here. It's quite a simple device really, but the leaf springs seem okay. All the shackles and things are properly attached, everything's tight, so I'm going to put the wheel on and let it down and just see what happens really. Nice and gentle. Okay, right, so see those springs squash down. They are actually separated though, as opposed to when the air boot was in there, they were sealed tight. So obviously I am going to take the one out of this side as well, otherwise it will be uneven. Right, so this morning when I set out to start looking at what the problem was, I couldn't really see anything overtly obvious, and just as I've started to take the wheel nuts off here, I've noticed exactly what the problem is. That is what the swinging shackle on the other side looks like, as it should be, and this is what it looks like on the off side. It's completely unattached itself from here, so that is what was causing all the banging. Yeah, so I'm going to leave the air boot in there, because at the moment that will be the only thing really holding the suspension together. And obviously it goes without saying, I'm not going to be driving my van while the suspension is like this. It's very much off the road. Alright, so let's summarise. First of all, I've just been editing some of the footage and I didn't realise that it was all very overexposed, very bleached. And I think when I was changing the tyre on the side of the road, in all the chaos, one of the settings was adjusted and it all went a bit crazy, so I'm sorry about that. So, let's address the elephant in the room. At the start of the video I said the van is extremely loaded up, very heavy, and then at the end of the video I'm like, one of my suspension springs seems to have broken. But in my defense, the Renault Galette, that model that I've got, is rated at taking an extra 1.3 tons of weight. And there is no way, even with the build and everything that's in there, that I exceeded that weight. However, of course, those leaf springs, for all I know, could be the original ones from the 50s. And the fact that there was air suspension fitted that was not functioning basically meant the springs weren't really doing their job. And as well as that, the springs, the swinging shackle in that area looked pretty corroded anyway. So, what is the solution? Well, the answer to the problem comes from Birmingham. I've been in contact with a specialist company that restore and rebuild obscure leaf springs. Yeah, there's a company like that exists. And I've sent them some photos and they said, yeah, not a problem, you can bring that to us or post it to us and we're sorted out. So I'm gonna have that rebuilt. And at some point I really would like to reinstall functioning air suspension just to kind of take the heavy work away from the leaf springs, just to help assist them. So anyway guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.